All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to Broken Boys. It's episode 183. I am Mike.
And I'm Colin.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a little roundup of albums from the month of August 2024, and then also
Mhm.
just talk about some other stuff too, music news, uh, personal lives, um, other things. But before I guess as we get into those things, Colin, how about you transition us into your personal life and maybe even your social security number or something like that?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Do you want me to start with the number? Or do you want me to?
Maybe you could just like throw it in there as like a little Easter egg hunt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my week was okay.
All
Six.
right, cool.
My
Yeah.
it was good. Just work and uh, Fortnite and
Hmm.
God of War.
There's four. Sorry.
Yes. What is it?
I said there's four when you said Fortnite, but yeah, continue. Um,
Yes. But you know, the other day, Wednesday was Max and I's 9 month, and then yesterday was her birthday. So didn't do a whole lot. Just went to like Target and Walmart. I cooked us up a couple of steaks
Ooh.
um, on the stove.
Birthday
I
steaks
haven't
or anniversary steaks?
uh, both, you could say,
I
but
guess
she
that's
wanted
true. Yeah.
she wanted steak for her birthday, so but there were some nice Walmart New York strips. Um, I was pretty proud of myself because I think the last time I cooked a steak just on its own was in like culinary in high school.
Mm.
So uh, but with the help of Google and a meat thermometer, I was able to make both of those a nice medium rare. So
Nice.
yeah, so pretty good. Those are tasty. Um, and then rest of the week work's been work's been something. I don't know. I'm sure I said it last week, but I severely took the busyness of the summer for granted.
Mm.
I know that during the summer I was like, oh god, it's still so busy. Well, this sucks. But yeah, Wednesday was like nonstop for my entire. I was there for 4 hours, and it was nonstop from the moment I got there till like after I left. So, and then today wasn't like too bad, but it was still like we were fairly busy, and while we had people, it was just still like people at the wazoo.
Mm.
Just it's just insane. Um, but it's been all right. I've been on a Game Grumps kick the
Oh.
last week or so. They've been playing this. Simulator game that's in like early access, but it's like supermarket simulator.
Okay.
So you build up your supermarket and everything, and those are nice long videos. And I forgot how much I love those two guys just playing video games. I've been watching the Power Hour that they do every Monday, but watching them play video games is where it all started. I think I've been subscribed to them since like 2015. So
Hmm.
going on 10 years here,
Yeah.
which is
Ooh.
pretty cool.
How's it make you feel?
It makes me feel something.
Yeah.
Um, the channel's only been going for. I mean, I think they've been going for like 12 years. So
Wow.
you know, um, I mean, the first year was with JonTron, and then
Oh
he
yeah, I
left.
forgot about that. uh,
But
Friend of the pod, John.
yeah,
Yeah.
great guy. He Um, but yeah, it's just been nice. They're really funny. I was going back and watching like their Dead Rising series from a long time ago, and as well as the supermarket thing. And I was like, damn, this is fun. This is nice. As well as like I've been there's a couple channels that have been like watching Pony Pilot's music videos
Mm.
and like reacting to them. Like there's this channel called Riker Road that
Yeah.
like yeah they really reacted to all the Clancy videos, and then they've been doing Scaled Nicey, and it's just like, and they've been really liking Scaled Nicey, and they're like, why did this one not do well? I don't understand.
Yeah.
And it's like, thank you guys.
Yeah. I I mean, I don't mean to burst the bubble here slightly, maybe, potentially. I've seen their stuff too, and I watch them every now and then. I don't know how to feel about them because I know they've also posted like supportive Tom McDonald reactions, and they got
Yeah,
like Ronnie Radke as a cutout in their background and stuff. I'm like, I don't
yeah,
know what vibe to get from you two. So,
yeah. I've literally only watched 21 Pilots reactions from them.
yeah,
I've seen the Ronnie cutout, and I've seen like them upload Tom McDonald and also Falling in Reverse
yeah.
reaction. I'm like, God.
Yeah, it was like I don't remember which one it was, but I like briefly watched like a Tom McDonald one, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, I get what you're saying," or whatever. And I'm like, oh no,
Because
uh-oh.
a lot of because like when they're listening to 21 Pilots and they're like listening through clients, they're like, wow, like the talks about mental health, like I feel this, like this is super important,
Right.
like just like progressive esque ideas,
Yeah.
like shining through, but then they have like Ronnie Radke looking over their shoulder, and it's like it's like
Yeah.
what do you guys? What's the vibe here?
You stand for
So yeah,
nothing, Burr. What do you stand for? Or shit, whatever. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right.
No, I
Uh,
forgot to say fall. I said if you stand for nothing, Burr, what do you stand for? But it's okay.
oh
Um,
yeah. But yeah, I've been watching those, and um, but YouTube. I've been on a little YouTube kick. Good Mythical Morning. It's Good Mythical Summer was
hmm,
going, and that was every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So Good Mythical Morning will be back the week after next, which is good. And they have their like original show that they created for YouTube that they're releasing every Friday on their Rhett and Link channel,
hmm.
which has been cool. But uh, yeah, I what else did I do? Um, we had a little Fortnite sesh the other night.
We did.
Um, me, Max, and Mike all played Fortnite for a little while. Didn't
Hmm.
get any dubs. We got pretty close,
We
but
did get close.
um, we tried. Those damn war machines, arsenals.
I got a lot
Ars-
of battle pass stars, so that's really all that
yes,
matters in the end.
and in the end, that's all that really matters. And
Mm,
after a while, it was just like, I mean, I might not win these games, but at least I'm getting XP, and that's
exactly.
but yeah, it's the season's still hard, but it's like there'll be I've gotten a couple wins in the last week with Max. It's like, oh, finally something other than death on death.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm getting through that battle pass, getting through it. It's going well. She's been playing a lot of like creative islands or whatever, where
Mm,
like XP farm type thing. So she's pretty much through it. So it's like, okay,
yeah.
fine, it'll go on without me. It's okay.
Yeah.
But um, but
I sense
yeah,
tension in the relationship.
Especially through Fortnite.
Yeah.
Um,
You leveled up without me.
but I finally finished the Valhalla DLC for God of War Ragnarok this week.
Nice.
At least like the main story of it, and I beat the big boss at the end for the last time after with like a smidge of health left, and I was pogging for sure.
Yeah.
It was good. I'm very excited to get through that after it's been out since I don't know, fucking December of last year. So, um, got through that. That was good. But while I was playing Fortnite and God of War this week, I listened to a few things.
Ooh,
I listened to Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter.
okay.
I listened to Imaginal Disc by Magdalena Bay,
Let's fucking go.
and I listened to F1 Trillion by Post Malone.
Hell yeah. Wow.
And I will,
In order of quality.
yes, and I will expand on my thoughts on those once we get to the roundup.
I'm
But
excited.
yeah, that was basically my week. Nothing. I mean, a couple fun things, but mostly same old, same old.
Hmm.
How was your week, Mike? Seven.
Week. Week was fine. Week was fine. Very subliminal. I last week my mom and I continued our little Avengers, well, MCU watch through. Like I said, we were gonna watch Guardians 3, and we watched that last weekend. Um, and it was really good. I liked it a lot. It was very dark. I was not expecting
Oh,
an MCU movie to get to that level of darkness. I was like, whoa, okay, we're really in it. And at some points, I almost even wonder if it was maybe slightly too dark for an MCU movie. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I wasn't expecting it, but I don't know. It was very good though. A couple of the notes that I wrote is that the CGI is like straight up amazing. Like
oh,
maybe some of the best CGI I can think of for a movie.
yeah.
Um, it looks incredible. Um, and also this one was very James Gunn pilled. Like he was,
Oh, yeah.
you could tell. I mean, I've only really seen like the Guardians movies and Suicide Squad, basically. But he has a very distinct style, and you could feel that style in the first two Guardians movies. But like, you could tell he was just like he was going off on this one with the James Gunnisms, you know.
Yeah, that was his goodbye to the MCU before he started his DC
Right.
tenure. So he had to leave us off on a good note.
Yeah, yeah, and it was good. It was a very good note. But yeah, a little almost even hard to watch at a couple points, which was
Yeah.
not quite expecting. I was like, damn. But it was good. I liked it. And then now we have we have a plan of potentially watching all of the Marvel movies my mom was thinking
Oh.
of. I was like, okay, and I assembled the list of release order, and I was like, okay, we got like 35 or something like that. She's like, oh, okay. But we watched Iron Man sometime earlier this week, and I have seen it before, kind of in bits and pieces a little bit. But
Mm.
this is my first time like straight up paying attention to it, I guess, for the whole way through. And yeah, I mean, it was good. I liked it. Definitely, you know, somewhat dated, slight, maybe not dated, but like just in terms of the content, it's like, yeah, it's a superhero movie. Love interest, African American best friend, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
We love Terrence Howard in here. Um, but you know, it was obviously there's other whatever. Nothing wrong with that, but just very cliche type stuff a little bit in there.
Yeah,
But it was good. It was fine. Um, Liked it. The CGI actually holds up very well in there, I will say though.
yeah.
Uh,
So it's been a long time since I've watched that first one, but I do remember that scene where he like flies into the Middle East and he has
yeah.
the suit for the first time or whatever, and he's using those missiles and everything. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, it was like that still holds up from what I remember. So
Yeah. It still looked like that would pass very well today. Still, like, um, yeah, it was really good in terms of that. But yeah, you know, what was oh, the other thing I wanted to say is that I noticed this the last time I tried to watch it too, because I think the last time I attempted watching it was at my ex's house during like a party or something like that.
mhm.
And there I can kind of forgive it, but like even like at home, the movie is very quiet for some reason. Like I feel like it's that movie in particular is just like I don't know, like the dialogue is very quiet. Like Robert Downey Jr. he kind of mumbles because that's kind of part of his character a little bit.
Yeah,
Uh, but like he mumbles like important things, and it's like I don't know. But weird complaints, but yeah.
I'm
Um, what was that?
I'm Iron Man.
You're oh you are?
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't.
5.
Okay. Iron Man 5. We're skipping 4. Um, but, yeah, other than that, been doing the same old, playing RuneScape, making music stuff. My RuneScape membership actually ran out earlier, two. Actually, it might have been today, but I didn't play it all yesterday, because I like hyper. I don't know if hyper fixated would be the right word, but I like really sweated out my final levels in Hunter, which is a
Yeah.
skill in the game. So I got my second 99 right
Uh,
before. Yeah, I was like halfway from 98 to 99, and I was like, you know what? My membership's gonna run out. I don't know when I'm gonna renew it again. Let's just sweat this out for like 3.5 hours. So I just kind of did some mind-numbing tasks for 3.5 hours and got my 99 hunter. So feel
nice.
it's always nice. It's a nice thing to do. I'm the first of my friend group to get two 99s, which means I get a
Well,
trimmed skill cape. So I mean, it's
yeah.
don't mean to brag or anything, but I got two 99s now. Um, but there was something else that happened this week, though, and I'll share as much as I can because some of it's my story to share, and some of it's, well, I should say some of it's my. It's mostly my friend Vanessa's story, if anything. But
Yeah.
I got roped into it a little bit, so
Okay.
basically some drama happened a little bit. For the last like few months, Vanessa brought someone she was romantically interested in into our Discord, which was fine.
Huh.
And they became girlfriends, whatever. It was kind of this. I don't know how to describe it. Just kind of like a, yeah, whatever. It's fine. You're cool. Like she would be there when we played some games, sometimes in the background, or like when like we'd be playing GeoGuessr. She liked to watch that. There was a few times, I would be like chilling in a call with just her and her girlfriend for like, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours, something like that, just playing games or whatever, just talking and
Mhm.
whatever. And her girlfriend even sent me, I think I mentioned on the pod, but I got like new computer parts.
Right.
Like she sent me some for like really good prices. So, she was nice. Um, but she's also very into RuneScape. Um,
Okay.
and some drama occurred a couple times in the last few weeks that was, it's kind of like, so Vanessa was playing RuneScape already before she met her, but like she like that girl like really got her motivated to play more, and she is maxed, right? And a
Okay.
maxed player is someone who has literally put. I mean, I've put thousands of hours into the game too, I think. But like they're like really sweaty players, right? They know all the
Okay.
best methods to do everything. They know all of these types of stuff or whatever. And when Vanessa was, getting tips from her on how to play the game, it was almost like she was playing New Game Plus for her first playthrough. You know what I mean?
Well, okay.
Because she like knew all of the most efficient ways to do everything, and was
Mhm.
like learning from like the top tier of someone who's played this game for a long time. And like me and my friends were like, you know, that's whatever, but it is a little disappointing she's not quite getting that beginner game experience because that's what I mean. I think most people can relate to that play games. It's like when you're in that early game, sometimes that's when the most magical stuff happens. This is when you're like
Right.
when you're figuring things out yourself and when you're doing all that kind of stuff. So like we would slightly jest at her like friendly jests, like it was banter, because that's kind
Yeah.
of what we do in our Discord group a little bit. So like if she would get like 90 strength or something like that, we'd like, oh, Vanessa's got 90 strength from just sitting around doing nothing or whatever. Like just kind of slightly as a joke, but like, it's just kind of friendly banter. We didn't really care too much. It wasn't a super big thing. But her girlfriend kind of did make it a big thing a few times. We just have to be like, you're reading into it too deep. But like even when her girlfriend was like talking about it, like saying like we were bullying her or something like that, Vanessa would be DMing us on the side and just being like, guys, I swear to God, I'm telling her to not act like this because I don't see it this way. she,
Yeah.
she would be telling us that, and we would just be like, hey, I mean, it is what it is. It's just difference in opinion. It's fine. It's nothing too deep. We're not like we don't hate Vanessa for playing the game this way. It's just slightly fun to make fun of.
Yeah.
Whatever. Um, and, um, well, anyways, fast forward to yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. She had randomly left the group, and we're like, okay, whatever happened there. And Vanessa was just like, yeah, so we're not really a thing anymore. She was being pretty toxic or whatever behind the scenes with stuff, and I didn't know this extent, but like she was sending Vanessa a bunch of like messages that were like prime manipulation of like, oh,
Oh,
your friends are terrible, they are so bad for you, they're like little children or whatever,
oh,
and like I don't even know why you're friends with them, they just bully you and berate you or whatever, and all that kind of stuff, and like it'd be all this, and I was like, Jesus, this is some of the most toxic stuff I've ever read.
yeah. What
But
the?
but she was like literally like shit talking us so much behind our back too, and Vanessa was sending us some of those images, and
Oh,
like she called like my neighbor Natalie, she called her a gotcha addict, which long story short, gotcha games are basically like gambling type games, for
huh.
like gambling for like anime characters and stuff, but you spend real money for them. I don't know,
Mm.
it's a thing that she does sometimes, but she like was using it pretty derogatorily. She just like straight up called Daniel a racist or something. I don't even know how that would have happened from there.
Yeah.
um, and then for me, and keep in mind, this is all over just like disagreeing about how Vanessa plays RuneScape, and that's it.
Uh,
I had to pin this because this was so funny. She said, Michael is just stuck in his ways because of some right leaning conservative upbringing.
what the fuck?
And which that was one of the funniest things I've ever read. And like all of the chat just started dying when she
What
said that.
the?
It's just like, what do you even get that from?
Where did you? Yeah. Where did? Huh?
Just because I think the game should have a little bit of purity when someone's playing it for the first time. That's just how I see it. And that's all I'm saying is that's how I see it. Apparently, I have some right-leaning conservative upbringing. Um, and
I accidentally clicked on a notification from the because I get notifications because I'm in
yeah, the Discord,
that
yeah.
server, and I clicked on it and I saw that your name was a closeted conservative.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah, that's exactly where that came from. We all took back our insults. So now he is gotcha addict. Daniel's just straight up racist is his name, which is kind of funny. Um, I'm closeted conservative, and then Vanessa is now fascist sympathizer because that's what she was calling us. She was
what the
or the person was calling us fascists, and that Vanessa was sympathizing with us for associating with us. And it's like, bro, what the like? It's just like you were so nice when we were in like calls together. Like
fuck?
literally last week, I was talking about like, oh yeah, we did end game raids, which was really fun in the game. Like she was guiding us through that, and that was two
Yeah.
days after she sent all of those messages to Vanessa. It's just like,
She doesn't even know any of you. Like,
I
what the
know, and like I don't
how do
mean
you
that.
where do you believe that information? Like any of
Yeah,
it?
and like the conservative one as well, like it just boggles my mind, especially because I don't mean this to sound like I have trans friends, I can't be transphobic, but
Yeah.
like I said, I was literally chilling in calls with them for like 2 to 3 hours, and it's not like I was just like, you know, I was treating them as like human beings, just talking to them normally. I wasn't like
Yeah.
there's nothing like I could have been doing, and like if I was had conservative upbringing, I'd be a lot more like not doing that.
Yeah.
Like
You go
associating with
talk to
them.
you go talk to your parents for a little while and see if you
Yeah,
come out like they're like fucking Trump supporters. Like
exactly. Like you know
if you
my
talk to your
parents.
dad for a little while, it is like, man, that's a lovely guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know my parents. And my of course my friends know my parents as well too, and it just makes that comment so funny. Right leaning conservative upbringing. Uh, so that was something that happened this week that just I had to
Wow.
share that. That was just a doozy. Um, yeah. Vanessa's still, I think, going to be playing RuneScape because, like I said, she was playing beforehand. But
Yeah.
so we still got that. But other than that, um, but yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And then to rate my story a 0 out of 10.
No.
All right.
At least an 8.
At least it. Oh, okay. Ooh, nice. And yeah. Other than that, like I said, my RuneScape membership was up like yesterday. So I have been honing in on some music stuff even more the last couple days. So it's going.
But
I'm hoping to have something to show you guys in the next like week or two to be like, hey, what do you think of this other track? That's
Okay.
coming close to being done. So
Hell
hoping,
yeah. Very.
yep, hoping for that, hoping for that. That's pretty much my week.
You listen to anything?
Oh yeah, one thing. Thank you.
It's-
I need to literally just start putting that because I have it separated. I mean, if you remember how
I
my
know you
note,
got it at the bottom of your notes.
yeah, I put
And
it at the bottom. I need to just put it in the top of the notes too, because I think that's just what I need to do. But yes, I also listened to Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter,
Mm,
which I will also give more thoughts on when we do our little roundup. Um, but yeah, before we get to that, and some music news stuff. I only really have one thing here, I'm pretty sure. And that's that The Smile, a little Radiohead side project with Tom York and Johnny Greenwood. They got
mm.
another album coming out this year.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, another one coming out October 4th called Cutouts. They had a couple more singles drop from it. They dropped one like a few weeks ago, and I thought it was kind of whatever. And then these two ones, I thought the first one, Foreign Spies, was also kind of whatever, to be honest. I was like, it's pretty synths, but like it's very meandering again. Don't know how I feel about that. And then another one, Zero Sum, is better. It's got like almost like Black Midi esque like riffs, like weird guitar patterns, like very technical playing, which is pretty cool.
Mm.
But I feel like the parts for me don't like meld together super well. I don't know. It's just kind of like like it's cool in concept, but it feels like it needed to be smoothed out like just a little bit. But yeah, that one's called Zero Sum as well. I forgot if I said that or not. But so I don't know. New album coming out October 4th, and the three singles I've kind of been just like, yeah, I mean, they're all right. They're good. So I don't think this one's going to be passing up Wall of Eyes, which I still really love. I listened to that the other week, and still very very good album. But yeah, that's coming out October 4th, along with that Jordy Griep album. So
Right.
uh, online music nerds are going to be very smelly that night. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's about all I have for music news, though. It's just that.
Well, there's a couple of 21 Pilots things.
I may know one of them, maybe.
Maybe. There was they got nominated for like best group at the VMAs this year.
Hmm.
Then that category is it's a one where fans vote on it, and whoever gets the most votes wins.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Tyler straight up posted on Twitter, and he's like, "Don't do it. Don't
Oh,
vote for us.
all right.
Uh, I don't want you guys to feel like you're farmed for farmed for votes and shit like that. Like that doesn't. I don't like that.
Hmm. Interesting.
So it's like, yeah, no, don't worry about it. And then like I saw somebody like a Taylor Swift thing. It was like, go vote, go.
Right afterwards, yeah.
Yeah. And then there was a some lore was happening during concerts.
Oh, was it?
Well, concert in LA night two. They're a slight spoiler for the show, but it's not like crazy. They play the judge, and during that they Mark, their video guy, goes
Mm-hmm.
out and he's been recording fans singing the chorus to play during the song, and
Mm-hmm.
during that little section of the song, the like restricted Dima thing from the Paladin Straits teaser
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah.
on screen, and Blurryface, the Blurryface Twitter account tweeted.
Ooh, I saw about
Uh,
that part. I saw about that part.
yeah, it's like I he said like I've seen all of your diversions or something like that,
Mm.
and then it was deleted. So and then but yeah, that's some lore's happening.
Okay.
Um, but we'll see where that goes. And that was like the ninth show of the
Mm.
tour. So
Oh.
if people are thinking like every 9 shows or something,
Mm.
there'll be whatever. And then like the last show of tour, which is like in the UK or something, like is a nine is a ninth show.
Mm.
So we'll
Derivative
see.
of nine. Is that?
Yeah.
Der- no, I don't know if derivative is the right word there. But whatever.
Yeah, something like
You know what I mean?
that. Multiples of that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and then also there's a possible Twin Own Pilots and Linkin Park collab happening.
That was the thing I was gonna say. I did see some rumors about that.
Yeah, and I know that Chester Bennington was a big fan of Twin Own Pilots, so
Hmm.
uh, it'd be very cool. Linkin Park was posted something about like I think they're gonna start releasing new music. I think they finally are or not finally, but I think they're pulling the trigger on filling Chester's spot in the
Oh,
band.
is that? I mean, I don't know how much you know. Is that what they're planning on doing though? Is filling instead of just like Mike Shinoda taking over or something?
Yeah, I think they've been looking for a singer for a couple years now,
Gotcha.
and I think the fifth, which is next Thursday or whatever, they're releasing something or other.
Nice.
So people have been thinking that and then like in some of their um in like their website URL or whatever, there was the O with the dash through it, which is like the
Mm.
Twin Pilots thing. So
Hmm.
people have been thinking that like, oh, maybe it'll be Twin Pilots. Maybe they're doing their collab for a first time, um, which would be super cool to see. I'd be super interested in
Yeah,
something like that.
for sure.
Um, I'm not like a big Linkin Park person. I mean, I've liked everything that I've heard from them, but I've never really dove into them at all. And
I'm in the
I
exact
just
same boat. Yeah.
yeah, they added In the End to Festival yesterday, and playing
Hmm.
that, I was like, damn, I love this song. It's a great, it's a great tune.
Yeah.
Um, but I think I listened to Hybrid Theory like a long time ago, but um, I'll have to re-listen to that at some point.
Do we have them
But
on the wheel?
no, but they could definitely be added.
Yeah, we should absolutely do that. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. But yeah, that could be cool. Very interested in that. Um, and then the big thing this week was the reunion of Oasis, the band Oasis.
Yeah, I was seeing memes that Black Moody died and got reincarnated into Oasis.
Yeah, the creators of Wonderwall and Champagne Supernova. I guess they couldn't. They saw that Chapel's Red Wine Supernova was getting more popular than Champagne Supernova and couldn't handle it, so they got back together.
Yeah, they should have
Um,
they should have taken their own advice and not looked back in anger. But
good tune.
yeah, that is a good one.
That's,
Yeah,
that's the only one I've really listened to that by them. I've heard Wonderwall in passing, but um,
yeah. Wonderwall's
uh,
good too. It's very meme at this point.
uh, but yeah, there's some shows doing a little stadium tour next year. And they're like, it's not going to be televised. It's not going to be recorded anywhere. You got to be there. Um,
No one's gonna
so
have
it's
their
like,
phones.
all right. It's like, um, but it's like, cool. Like, I guess, like, you Oasis heads are eating good, I suppose.
I suppose.
Pay your however many hundreds of dollars for tickets for Oasis, and see a fight break out on stage between the two brothers.
Mm. I forgot that they're
But
brothers. That's right. Yeah, they're both Gallagher's, right?
Noel and Liam.
One of them's not a great person, I know too, from what I've heard.
Yeah,
I forget
yeah.
which one, but
But yeah, that was the big thing that I saw this week. But um, I think that's all the music news that I have written down. So
cool. All right. Well, oh, do you have any news? News?
just some more Trump being an idiot.
Yeah,
He
love hearing it.
he was filming an ad at the Arlington Heights cemetery in DC, the one where all the soldiers are buried.
Yeah, yeah. My
Um,
my great grandfather is buried there.
right.
Yeah.
um, and you cannot film there
Yeah.
for political ads. It is not
Oh,
somewhere you.
yeah.
Yeah, it is not somewhere you can go to film. It's illegal. Um, but and when like one of the guards tried to stop them, they got they got pushed out of the way and told to just fuck off. by Trump and his team, and they just
Jesus.
decided. Yeah, they. I don't know if it was at the tomb of the unmarked tomb of the soldier, whatever it's called,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
the tomb of the unnamed soldier or something like that. Uh, but they were near that, and you are not supposed to use that area as a political ad um, setting, but they did it anyway. So,
Jesus.
um, it's very cool. Trump disrespecting the military yet again.
Yep.
Uh, they're suckers, losers, and now that's backfiring. So he's going to film some propaganda. Um,
Yeah.
they're, they're also getting ready for their debate, but Trump's being a little pussy, and he's not too happy because Kamala's team want there to be no muting for the mics when the other person's talking.
Mm.
But Trump is like, well, it's supposed to be like the other one, and there was muting in the last one, and it's like,
It's
you
true. There
just
was muting. There was muting in the last one.
they muted me.
Yeah.
They
I
didn't
just
want
want to
to
see
hear
why
me.
we can't mute this time. That kind of turned into Paul McCartney there.
But yeah, Trump's just he's floundering.
Hmm.
He's looking very panicked, um, and also very gross. His tan is looking real bad
Hmm.
nowadays. I mean, not that it ever looked good, but it's like I don't think he's had a touch up in a while, so it's looking rough.
No.
But that's all the news that I have either way.
No. That's okay. Cool. Well, we can do a little monthly roundup here now if we want. I think ours might look fairly similar. Let's do a lot of similar things, but that's okay.
That's
That's partly why we started the podcast.
fine.
And yeah, it looks like I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over here.
Yeah, if I split up the JIT albums that I didn't listen to, I also have 8.
Okay, cool. You want to start then? Usually I start.
Sure.
Cool.
All right. Well, at the beginning of the month, we did a little JID artist analysis, and the first album that I listened to that I hadn't heard it was the Never Story by JID, and let me look back to see what I thought of it. Um, it was a good debut. Surprised me with how well realized it was. Um, Lots of cool like parallels between that and the Forever Story, and just a great debut. Good vibey songs with some great flow, which is known for that, and the production was good. I don't remember it all too well because I haven't listened to it since the RS analysis, but I do
Right.
remember liking it. And if you do want to know more in-depth thoughts, you can head over to that episode.
Damn straight.
Um, but I'll read off some of my favorites here: Hereditary, Lauder, Division, and Hood Booger. And I gave that one a light 8, so I'll stick with it.
Cool. For me, the first thing I listened to this month was Vultures 2 by
Ooh,
Kanye West and Ty Dolla $ign. And yeah, I talked about it briefly, and I will talk about it briefly again. This album is like 20% finished, if I'm being generous. Placehold has a bunch of placeholder vocals, terrible choruses, god awful production, and mixing from top to bottom, and also literal AI verses.
ooh,
Um, I just read off my review there because I think that was phrased pretty well, and I
yeah.
gave it a strong 1. No highlights.
Perfect. All right. Well, the next thing I listened to was also for the artist analysis. It was DiCaprio 2 by JID or JID. And I also remember liking this one, not as much as the debut or the his most recent record, but I do remember liking it. The features, as well as like DJ drama being jarring, not hearing in Tyler the Creator album, but somewhere else. Um, Great flow, great production. Um, it's very good. He's very very good. And if you want, like I said, if you want to hear more, go on over to that artist analysis. It's right over there for you.
Yeah.
Um, but my favorites on here were 151 Rum, Off D's, Slick Talk, Off to Zwinkies, um, and gave it as a solid 7.
Nice.
Yep.
All right. And speaking of that artist analysis, first thing I listened to was Jid's The Never Story. Or first thing, second thing. I mean, basically the first thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Like Colin said, really, really solid debut. I mean, it's pretty obvious he'd been doing this for a while by this point, but that just makes for a really good introduction album. It was a little darker than I thought it was going to be, but he's popping off with his flows and his raps all throughout. I thought the choruses on here were kind of just okay for the most part, but the actual rapping was very good. I think or no, there's like a little bit of variation that happens throughout, but it was I found it to be very enjoyable, and I liked the parallels to the Forever story that came later. But yeah, some of my favorites on here were Never, General, Somebody, Division, Lauder, and 8701, and I gave this a strong 7 overall. It's very very good.
Cool. Next thing I listened to was "You Won't Go Before You're Supposed to" by Knocked Loose. Um, I thought this one was getting good reviews. I know you listened to it, so I was like, "I'll check it out."
Yeah.
And I haven't re-listened to it since I had heard it the first time, but after getting used to the sound for a few songs, it started to click with me. Never been like a big screamo kind of uh, just the screamo style has never been my cup of tea. But listening to this album, it's not too long, and it's there's some good stuff on it. So it wasn't too harsh for somebody who isn't too into that style. And I did grow up listening to like my dad's 80s hair metal, that kind of stuff. So I'm used to like the faster, harder instrumentals and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So just yeah, it was good. I'll have to jump into it again to like really solidify my thoughts on it. But I do remember liking it quite a bit. Some of my favorites on there were Suffocate, The Calm That Keeps You Awake, Take Me Home, and Sit and Mourn. And off the first listen, I probably give it like a light 7.
Cool. Yeah. I especially now that we're getting to like the fall time of the year, that's on my list of things I need to revisit because I think I've only listened to that like properly once, and I need to give it more times as well. But cool.
Cool.
Cool. All right. Last one for Jid. For both our lists. I listened to DiCaprio too as well for the artist analysis. And yeah, I mean the improvement on here is very very good. I think the first run of tracks is just like crazy on here, and the flow is really good. The hooks are a lot better too, a lot more catchy. But for me, the album is a little front loaded. The quality kind of falls off in the last few tracks, which is a little unfortunate. But like the very first run is super notable and very, very, very good. So yeah, all in all, that comes out to a light 8 from me, with some of my favorites being Off to Zoinkies, Slick Talk, Off D's, Working Out, and 151 Rum.
Mm.
And yeah, like I said, light 8. I don't know why I said it in a weird order, but cool.
Cool. All right. Next thing I listened to was "I Lay Down My Life for You" by JPEG Mafia, and yeah, like I said with the last one, jumping in, getting used to like the style of it, took a few songs from me, but after getting used to it and remembering my experience with like Scaring the Hose, which is different but still has that JPEG production. It's just not as weird because it doesn't have Danny Brown on it.
Yeah.
Um, it's good. It's really well produced. I liked a lot of the vocals and the the flow on it was good. I think Peggy does a really good job, and the features are good on it as well. Um, it's another one that I've only listened to once, but I should uh, give it another go because there were a lot of tracks that I did really enjoy, like "Vulgar Display of Power," either on or off the drugs, which was the song of the week when I listened to it,
Hmm.
and "Don't Put Anything on the Bible" were some that I really liked, as well as JPEG Ultra, which has Denzel Curry on it. But I like Denzel if he's on when he's on anything
Yeah.
for the most part. So it was really good though, really 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 well produced, and cool dark vibes, and one again that I'll have to listen to again. But off of first listen, give it a strong 7, light 8.
Cool. Next thing I listened to, both very online artists with JPEG, and then coming here with Paranol, at least in America, very online artist. Yeah, Paranol, he's a South Korean like shoegaze, noise pop artist. That I've been following along with his release, and I've been kind of, I don't know, so on his stuff. Like he can really hit when the climaxes and stuff like come to a really good moment. I just don't find I like his normal sound. I'm just like, it's okay, but the climaxes are very very good. So it's like this weird midpoint for me. But this album is like especially rough, like intentionally so. Like I compared it to like some of the early like car seat headrest stuff that we listened to for that artist analysis. It's kind of like
Uh-huh.
that, but really distorted and really shoegazy. It's definitely a vibe that I was getting into a little bit more on my last listen, but I still think it's a little overrated. But I'm in a weird place with my Paranol, but the opener, a lot can happen, is good. I remember liking Painless, I think it was, and I remember liking the closer Fantasy as well. But overall, it's like a really light 7 for me. Just good moments, but not quite my cup of tea.
I gotcha. Cool. And the next thing I listened to was "Model" by Wallows. Gave this one a good couple listens, and it's kind of where my thoughts on Wallows always sit. I listened to a couple of projects prior to this, and it's always just like it's good. There are good moments, but it's not like anything spectacular or like riveting. Really, it's nothing out of the ordinary for their like bedroom rock pop, that kind of thing. I think that's the singer Dylan, however you say his last name, who was
Yeah,
in like 14 Reasons Why and uh, the first of the newer Scream movies. He's got a good voice on him, and I like the vibe of their music a lot. But just like it's nothing like crazy. It's a good time, nice thing to put on in the background. Um, but you know, it's just all right. There were a couple good tracks on here, though. I liked um, "Your Apartment," "Bad Dream," and "Don't You Think It's Strange" on here. But it's not perfect, but it's a good time. Um, and I'd probably give it like a strong 6, light 7, maybe.
okay, cool. Next thing I listened to, F1 Trillion, Post Malone. Post Malone's gone country, and Dag Nabbit, he definitely made a country album. Um, it's it sounds like modern day country, if I can give him anything. And yeah, it's just I don't know. It's kind of another case of this isn't for me. Like if I can totally see someone who enjoys modern day country to enjoy this album, but for me, it's just like yeah, it's Post Malone singing about trucks and fearing God and protecting his gun and stuff like that. It's just like it's weird. I don't know. It's I don't relate to it. There's some nice moments on it. The feature list is kind of insane. But I'm I'm reading off my review here, but I do like how I phrased this part. It really sounded like there was 3 features on this project: generic country male, generic country female, and overproduced Dolly Parton. Um, that's really what it sounded like to me.
That's
Um,
great.
but yeah, it's not great. There's a couple songs I liked on it. I liked "Wrong Ones," the opener, which apparently is somewhat controversial because I think that's a lower rated song. And then there's a song called "Missing You Like This" towards the middle that I kind of related to. I thought it had some good songwriting. But yeah, it's not for me, and I gave it a decent four.
Cool. All right. Uh, next thing I listened to was "Short and Sweet" by Sabrina Carpenter, and this one was something. It was. I went in with an open mind. I knew that Sabrina Carpenter to me has just been like very milk toast, nothing spectacular, very run of the mill pop. Um, I like espresso, but I think that's like the best thing on the album. I don't think that anything really comes close to that. Even like the single "Please, Please, Please" that was like big on TikTok and stuff. The best part about that song is the chorus.
And also
In
the
my
motherfucker, that part too.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yes, that part is iconic.
Yeah.
Um, but there's a couple weird instances of like country esque production and singing style in a couple places that I really wasn't expecting. Um, and I'm like, okay, but a lot of it is just like the same, the same story, the same, um, like the same. What the fuck am I looking for? The same like
Same
um,
content,
yeah,
kind
this
of.
the same content and context. Like
Yeah.
it's like the Olivia Rodrigo effect. Like it's like my boyfriend sucks and my guy now is great. But I still like that other guy. It's like
Yeah. Olivia
it's
Rodrigo
just
with more like tongue-in-cheek sexual innuendo, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that now that you say it. But it's
Hmm.
like I don't know. It just was like okay, and I wasn't a big fan of a lot of it. I think she's got a good voice on her, and I think with good writing, um, it could be a lot better. But I think Espresso is the best song on here. But I also liked Bad Chem, uh, the opener Taste, and I think I liked Juno, but I can't quite remember. Amy.
Yeah.
I'd probably give this a like a light, decent five. Nothing crazy. I definitely don't agree with Fantano that it's as good as Clancy, but um,
Yeah.
yeah, just not for me really.
It's weird. I mean, I'll get into my thoughts on it later, but like, while I completely disagree with Fantano on that as well, that it's the same as Clancy, I can also totally see how someone can come to that conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, like I don't
Yeah,
agree, but I can see how he got there.
yeah, like I understand, but it's just
Yeah,
like or near the same quality.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
but
Anyways, next thing I listened to was Chapel Roan's "The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess," and I have checked this one out a couple times. I was glad I got around to it again. Go me. And yeah, I mean, I kind of have the same opinion on it though. Like, it's really good when it's really good. Like the choruses are definitely the highlight on here. The hooks are just so catchy, so fun, all around, very memorable as well. And yeah, it's just a really fun album, I would say. Definitely, very LGBTQ plus empowering in there, which well, specifically the L. But it's very empowering in general, though. It's a really good album, but I do think the way I see it is like this is really good, but it feels like the first step towards something even better. And that to me, I think is just the best way I could put this album in my thoughts on it. Some of my favorites on here, I still love Red Wine Supernova. I like Hot to Go, of course, Casual, Pink Pony Club, and Naked in Manhattan. I was liking quite a bit on the second time around. But yeah, it's good, but I'm really excited to see what she does next. So for that, it's like a strong seven for me, like very, very strong, but really, really good though.
yeah, glad you like it.
Yeah.
got some real bangers on there.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Um,
No pun
cool.
intended for a few of them.
So true.
Yeah,
I love casual,
yeah,
but
yeah.
uh, the next thing I listened to was Imaginal Disc by Magdalena Bay,
All right.
and I've given this one a good few listens this week because it is damn fucking good.
That's fair.
Really, really, really great production, amazing vocals. I love the instrumentals across all this album. Um, I think the only ones that I don't have liked on Spotify are like the interludes or whatever. But even those
Mm-hmm.
are really, really good. Yeah, I've pretty much had this on repeat all week just because it's the only thing I've really wanted to listen to. But yeah, it's just there's something about this one that Mercurial World didn't really capture me with. I don't know what it is, but I love like everything about this album. Um, I think it's one of my favorites of the year, to be honest. So it's yeah, it's just really good. I also love all the transitions between the songs, like you were saying last week with
Mm-hmm.
talking about it. Really seamless, really great. Just love the vibes of this thing. Some of my favorites are Death and Romance, which is really fucking good. Killing Time, Watching TV, Love is Everywhere. That's My Floor. Um, and Tunnel Vision. Those are all really, really good. But
Yeah.
the whole album's great. So I'd give it like a light 9, honestly, right now. So
Cool. All right. Next thing I listened to, this might be showing my closeted conservativeness a little bit, but I listened to Rage Against the Machine by Rage Against the
oh
Machine, my favorite
no,
conservative band. Um,
yes,
um, but yeah, no, this album is really really fucking good. I've listened to this kind of a little bit on repeat. The last uh, not this week, but the week before was on repeat. Very very good. I mean, Killing in the Name, I knew that one, and that song is great. But like all throughout, like just the production and the climaxes it reaches, like it's some of I mentioned this before, but it really is some of like the best produced rock music I can think of. Like the energy is just like so good throughout the entire thing. It's paced beautifully. I mean, I feel like energy is the best way to describe this album, but like it just they know when to grow, when to fall. They know when to scream their heads off and play those instruments loudly. Like it just sounds great throughout the entire thing. And my only little criticism is that it maybe gets slightly samey in some of the riffs towards the end. Like there's a few times where it's like this just kind of feels like Killing in the Name in a different flavor. But like
yeah,
the content is still super powerful to this day, and the energy I can still get into and relate to despite being uh you know uh 9 years older than this album, or 9 years younger than this album, my bad. Uh-oh, surprise.
uh,
But yeah, some of my favorites on here: Killing in the Name, Take the Power Back, Bullet in the Head, Wake Up, I remember loving a lot, and yeah, I mean they're all just like fantastic. But those are some of the ones I remember enjoying the most. And I have it at a strong 9. It is very good.
fuck yeah, it is so good. I love Bomb Track off of there too. It's
Yes,
so good.
yeah.
7. But yeah, cool. Last thing I listened to this month was F1 Trillion by Post Malone. And after your thoughts last week, I went into this thinking that I'm probably not going to like this, and I ended up liking it more than I thought I would, to be honest.
Okay.
I there's I'm not a big fan of the modern pop country sound, but I don't know. It might be just my biases towards like liking Post Malone and his music, but I think his presence helped me enjoy it, even though he was alongside another big artist for the entire almost entirety of this fucking album,
Yeah.
uh, which is like okay, but it does the artists he is singing with do sound very 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 similar to each other through a lot of this. The only ones that I like picked out of the bunch that sounded different were like Jelly Roll,
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
and like Dolly Parton, of course. But it's like you know, it, for most of the album, I was like, yeah, this is okay. But once Devil I've Been was the first one in the line towards the end of the album, that I was like, okay, I'm enjoying this. And throughout like the next few, I was like, cool. Hide My Gun was the next one that I was like, no. But
Yeah, that's certainly a track by Post Malone. Yeah.
and Mexico, I was like, I wasn't liking it through a lot of it, but something about the chorus uh, kind of grew on me towards the end of the song. And I was like, okay, this is all right. But I do like that opener, like as you do. I do agree that Dolly Parton feature is very strange and does not sound good in the least bit. I think that she sounds like a robot
Yeah. It.
throughout her section where she's singing alone.
Yeah.
Um, I was listening to it and I was like, I was waiting for something weird to happen because like, it didn't sound too bad when they were singing together, but but once she starts singing alone, it's like, what the fuck did they do? Why
Yeah.
why did they do this? Um, and it was just like, okay, um, but yeah, there were a couple good tracks. I think the ones where he's alone were my favorites, like "What Don't Belong to Me" I liked, and "Right About You." Yours was like a little weird. I knew he had a daughter and everything, but like I don't know. It's just like I understand the sentiment, and it's sweet that like you love your daughter and you want her to have a good life, but it's just like it's kind of like those moms on TikTok who are like, I'm my boy's first love and
Yeah.
shit like that, where it's like, yeah, well, you might have babies with her, but I changed her diaper, and
Yeah.
it's, it's like it's sweet that you love your daughter and you want her future partner to know that you love her, but it's like I don't know, just the vibe of it was like okay. I get it. It's
Yeah, I
a
think
little
yeah,
good.
I think Fantano. I watched his review and he put it pretty well. Is that it just really plays into that stereotype that women are something to they have to have one man controlling them a little bit. So
Yeah,
remember I was it just sounds like trading off women as property a little bit.
yeah, a little
Like it just has that tone, and I'm like, yeah, I think that's why I don't like that type of song. Yeah, but
Um, but I did like the album more than I thought I was going to. Um, but it's there's still a lot of it where I'm like, uh, and I think that maybe in the future, if he goes for more of like rock instead of straight country, I think that'll go well because he has the voice for it. I think
yeah.
that it could do really well. I know that he's a big fan of like metal and stuff like that. So if he goes in like the sort of direction of like of rock more than country, I think that'll do well for him. But just as a straight country album, it's like it's more listenable than I think a Brad Paisley or Blake Shelton album is on their own.
Hmm.
Um, but I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. So I'd give it like a strong 5, light 6 maybe on a good day.
That's completely fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty. Next thing I listened to was Imaginal Disc by Magdalena Bay. Also, I think somehow we messed one. I think one of us messed up our math here because I have two more albums after this. But or sorry,
Oh,
including this, two albums. It's okay though. It's fine.
that's
But Magdalena Bay, Imaginal Disc. Yeah, I mean, I've had this on repeat the last week, and it's only grown on me, honestly. I really just think this is just like filled to the brim with some of the best production and catchiest hooks and best vocals, honestly, of the year that I can think of. It's just, I feel like every single song is just getting stuck in my head at some point, and I think it's really fun and playful. But even like the concept of the record, it's a very like self improvement type album, which I was getting the vibes of when I was listening to it. But last night I was reading the lyrics for the first time, and I was like, oh shit, some of this is like actually making me like tear up a little bit. Like it's just, I don't know, it gets really relatable, especially towards the like vampire in the corner and watching TV part of the album. And then into tunnel vision as well, which is basically just like recognizing there's a problem within yourself and needing to, notice the demons inside you and all that kind of stuff. Like, which sounds somewhat cheesy, but the way that they do it is just it's just so effortless and it's so them. And it's just a joy to listen to throughout the whole thing. And I love all the influences on here too. Like, I mean, something like Tunnel Vision, starts off just kind of their normal synth pop stuff, and then by the end of it, it's a progressive rock track that's super noisy and like it's one of the best parts of the album. And just yeah, I really just love basically everything on here, and I'm loving it more with every listen. So it's
Yeah.
a really good one. Some of my favorites are Image, Death and Romance. I'll throw Killing Time in there as well. I mean, I love pretty much all of it. But Vampire in the Corner, Watching TV, Tunnel Vision, That's My Floor, and Cry for Me. I think those would be towards the top for me. And right now I have it at a decent 9. It could honestly maybe even grow to a strong 9 for me. But it's very good. I was seeing something. Well, I think it was Mike the Snare posted a video today about like the top songs of or most popular songs of 2024 or something. And people were talking about how pop music is really having its moment this year, and it's kind of true. There's been a lot of really great pop stuff. I didn't really realize it till then, but with Bratz and the Porter Robinson, I would throw the 21 Pilots in there as well, and the Magdalena Bay. Like it's just like I feel like pop music is in a very good place this year. A lot of
Yeah.
a lot of good hooks in there for this year. So, but yeah, the Magdalena Bay, very good. My album of the year so far. And yeah, cool. And then the last thing I'll listen to is Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter. And I will keep it as such, short and sweet. It was pretty much what I expected from Sabrina Carpenter. Um, she surprised me a couple times in there too. I like her voice in a few parts, and I think there is a time and place for like the wittiness of her writing and stuff like that. But for me, it just kind of felt awkward, and it just didn't work for me. But it's also one of those things again where I could see someone else enjoying this more than me, but I don't know. It was a little on the boring side, and didn't really do too much for me. But I do like Espresso quite a bit. What was some of the other ones I liked? I liked Coincidence on here. If I remember, that was like a stripped back guitar one that I thought sounded pretty nice, pretty folky on there. I kind of like Slim Pickens, which that definitely was more in the country lane. But I don't know, for some reason I thought her voice worked well for that. But overall, it's kind of whatever. I had pretty much the same thoughts as you, and I have it at like a strong 5. So
Mm.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting the country stuff, but I guess like on Twitter when I've like tagged her in like the fucking in like the updates for episodes coming out,
Mm.
her Twitter handle is Sabrina Ann Lynn, which is a very southern sounding name. So,
That does sound like a country star right there. Yeah.
so who knows? I don't know where she's from, but
Me
maybe
neither.
she's a southern belle.
Could be.
But,
But yeah, cool. Well, that roundup brought us to the end. So I mean, unless you got anything else to add for us this week, I mean, we can kind
no,
of we can kind of groove and I don't know what I'm saying, skedaddle, but we gotta get a little song of the weekend first.
yeah, 9.
You were up first.
Cool. 7. We yeah, we just talked about how much we love that Magdalena Bay album and how much I really liked it as well throughout this week. So I'm gonna go with one of those tracks. I'm gonna go with "That's My Floor" from Magdalena Bay.
Cool.
That's my floor. I'm coming up to the party.
All right. That's My Floor by Magdalena Bay. What do you think, Mike?
I love that song. Very, very good. It was the single that came out right before the album, but I didn't listen to it until it was in the context of the album. And man, I love how noisy that track is. Like whatever fuzz they're doing on that bass or guitar, is just ear candy. And the chorus is super catchy. I love that. And I want more. Like that part in particular. I don't know why. It gets stuck in my head so much.
Yeah.
And just the energy in general, like when it gets to like the really like ambient part almost in the middle of there, and then it just like kind of rushes back into that's my floor. Like I just love that part so much too. It's such a creative song, and it's so fun. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. That one, I don't know, that one's really stood out to me throughout my listens. Just I really love the feeling of it, all the guitars. I love that synthy, that very synthy guitar pedal or effect on it. Uh, in the after the first chorus, I think.
Yeah,
It's just it's really good. I also just I don't know. I just love all the guitars on it. Honestly, and the chorus is super fun and catchy. Um, and yeah, it's been one of my favorites while listening to it this week. So wanted to highlight it.
hell yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Well, last week, like I said, I really loved that Rage Against the Machine album, but I wanted to highlight Magdalena Bay first. But now I can do the inverse. You can highlight them, and I can I can go to Rage Against the Machine. So I really love that album, and I think I forgot that you did Killing in the Name like a little while back. But I will go with another one that I remember liking quite a bit, and that was Wake Up by Rage Against the Machine.
Think I heard a shot.
That was Wake Up by Rage Against the Machine. What did you think of that, Colin?
Yeah, it's a fucking banger. I don't hear that one talked about a lot, but that is a really really great cut off of that album. Maybe even a deep cut.
Maybe.
And yeah, I think that Tom Morello really goes fucking hard on those guitar riffs. Very unique pedal or effect or whatever he has on his guitar throughout all of the stuff I've heard from them. But it just fits their music so well, and
Yeah.
those really heavy bass lines. I love being able to hear bass in music and all
Yeah.
the individual notes, and it comes through so well throughout all their music. And yeah, Zach, the singer, he has the fucking energy. The only person that could ever be the singer of Rage Against the Machine
Yeah.
is that guy, and yeah, he's it's fantastic. Really, really great song, great fucking album. Go listen to it if you haven't.
Yeah. Ditto. And I just can't believe these guys went woke. But other than that, but like this track, I mean, I love how direct. I mean, he's pretty direct with most of the subject matter on the album, but this was, I feel like, even particularly direct. When it's talking about political assassinations and that kind of stuff, and I just found that really intriguing. And to like hear just put so bluntly in such a popular album, I guess, a popular group at least.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh, it's
great.
popular.
It is a popular, yeah, that's true. I mean, even for an album that came out in 1992, with most of the songs having about kind of close to 100 billion streams. Maybe
Yeah.
there's a few that are a little bit significantly lower, but a lot of them are up there. Yeah, it's pretty popular. But yeah, it's very good though. I love the way that track like progresses. Like the way it just keeps building on itself. That I think I heard a shot part. It just goes so hard when that drops, and then kind of like you were saying with Knock Loose, I'm also not much of a screaming guy, but like the way he just screams "Wake Up" towards the end of this track is like completely guttural. Like probably some of the best screaming I've ever heard. Like
Yeah.
it's actually just so good the way he does that. And yeah, I love that album as well, and I love that song. And yeah, listen to that. Listen to both those albums.
Oh,
If you need to calm down a bit, maybe the Imaginal Disc, and then and then if you even want to get angry at the state of our nation, and listen to Rage Against the Machine.
sure.
Yep.
Yeah, those after you said the screams "Wake Up." it kind of like parallels between that and Sleep from
Yeah.
the Braid, where Gerard's screaming "Wake up" in the background that you can barely hear.
Yeah.
Parallel to that kind of different.
A little bit of different context, but yes, I know what you mean. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
also, that's another very good scream to wake up.
Yeah. Wake up and sleep. Great.
Exactly. um, but yeah, sick. Well, if you got nothing else for this week, then we can probably do a little transition.
Yeah, we can transition.
Cool. All right. Well, if you're listening on streaming services, thank you very much. But let me tell you, you are missing out on the many faces of Josh Dunn over here on on Discord. You got like a confused Josh, and you got a very happy Josh pointing at Tyler. I think that's what he's doing.
Yeah, he's saying that's Clancy. It's Clancy.
Oh my God, it's Clancy. So you can 2 for 1. You get to see Josh and Clancy in one profile picture. But double the Josh is what we all want.
Yeah.
So come on
I
over.
wish Alice was just Josh, to be honest.
True.
2 Josh.
I mean, with him picking up some singing duties, I mean, Tyler could be replaced. You never know.
That's true. Though I am remembering you didn't really own up to that cliffhanger we had at last week's episode.
We had a lot of cliffhangers last week. I'm gonna need you to be more specific. Because I did not finish my album in 1 week, or the EP.
No, I meant the whole profile picture.
Thing. Yeah. I mean, you didn't have that one last week, right?
I didn't, but you said you were in yours.
Oh shit. Well, maybe next time, folks. Cliffhanger number 2. Everyone loves a double cliffhanger. Anyways, on streaming services, go and check out those Josh Dunn profile pictures over on YouTube under the same name, Broken Boys, capital N BOYS. And over there you can see the Joshes, or you can see the Song of the Week playlists that we just did that segment of. We got playlists for those. We have one for me. We have one for Colin, and we have one for me, or both of us combined. Sorry. Yeah, I have 2 playlists for myself. But in those playlists, you can find both "Wake Up" by Rage Against the Machine, or you can find "That's My Floor" by Magdalena Bay, along with as a bunch of great tracks. Maybe not as good, because those are 2 very particularly good songs, but you know what? They're all good songs in there. So go check that out. All 3 of those. Give them some love. And put it on shuffle. A little mystery box of Mike and Colin's music taste. Plus guests. And yeah, can't forget the guests. But other than that, we have some personal things as well. For me, like I've been mentioning, I make music. I am making music under the name Plaintive, but I've made music. Back to the tenses. Under the name Plaintive, you can go check that out. Coping Mechanism, out now. It's been out. You're missing out. So go give that some love. Catch up on your Plaintive lore. Very good album, if I say so myself. Spotify, Apple Music down there. But also, I have an album of the year page where I rate and review music, all that stuff that I talked about this week in the roundup. You can see more in-depth thoughts on most of them over there, as well as everything else I review. And I got an Instagram, I've got YouTube, I've got TikTok. Oh man, I got a TikTok. In terms of proximity, due to my being outed as a conservative, I am coming from shooting that Trump ad in shooting that Trump ad in the cemetery, Arlington Cemetery to be specific. I'm kind of ashamedly walking out of there behind you.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, are you ashamed?
I'm ashamed because I got outed. But other than that,
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hide when you're filming
a Trump ad. Yeah, I probably should have thought that one through a little bit more, but That's my problem. My cross to
Oopsie.
bear. Just call me a pussy.
No, I said oopsie, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay, yeah.
yeah, you're a pussy, sure.
Yeah, okay. Well, speaking of pussies, Colin over here. No, he runs our socials. He runs our Twitter page where he updates when videos are posted, and he also runs our TikTok page where fun videos are posted of when we have fun, like we just did there. That was fun, and you can see more fun things on the TikTok. And he also has some personal stuff too. He's got an album of the year page where he rates and reviews music. Maybe some reviews of some of the stuff we talked about this week up on there.
Maybe.
Maybe. He also has a letterbox with a much more guaranteed bang for your buck, where he rates and reviews movies. Anything new on there this week?
No, not this week.
Okay.
It's-
That's okay. And he also has an Instagram page where 100% win rate of getting reviews of music, and that is linked down below. It sure is. And what is your proximity to our dear viewer, Colin?
well, as you're hanging your head in in disappointment that you were outed as a closeted conservative Christian,
Yeah.
um, um, me and the viewer, I'm in front of the viewer, but you're. I don't know how this is gonna work, but as you're walking out with your head held down low,
Mhm.
uh, we're gonna be yelling "pussy, pussy"
Mhm.
at
Yep.
you as you're walking away with former President Donald J. Trump, and
Yep.
you're gonna realize the the wrong in you, the wrong that you've done in breaking the rules and the law of the cemetery, where all these soldiers that have given their lives, well, given their lives and fought for the country, are buried, and you're gonna this is wrong, and you're gonna take the camera that you just filmed that ad on.
Mhm.
You're gonna take a hard drive and you're gonna smash it on the ground right
Wow.
in front of Donald Trump, and you're gonna turn to Donald J. Trump and you're gonna go pussy, pussy, and then and then you're gonna come to
I'm
us
gonna what?
and
Sorry.
okay, you're gonna come to us.
Okay, okay.
You're gonna to us if that's better. Me and the dear viewer, and in our as Donald Trump is walking away with his head held low now,
Yeah.
uh, we will.
It's a cycle of
Uh,
abuse.
but fuck them.
Yeah.
we, we're gonna jump up and down in a nice three-way hug with you behind the viewer, me in front of the viewer, just yelling "pussy," and we're gonna catch each other's eyes, and I can't resist those eyes, Mike.
Wow.
So I'm gonna give you a nice smooch, and I think it's gonna turn into more. Maybe a nice little makeout
Whoa.
right next to our dear viewer's head, as they're still screaming "pussy" at the former president, and we're gonna be making out right next to their ear. It's not gonna bother them in any way. Um, and we like to call this embrace the love cage. So if you would like your very own, all you gotta do, dear viewers, is drop your address in the comments below, and we will find you. You won't know when, you won't know where, but we will find you and give you your very own love cage.
Absolutely.
So I know how good that sounds.
I
So
I can't believe with one kiss that you turned me into to the liberal agenda.
yeah, it's like cooties.
Yeah.
Being a liberal is and being a leftist liberal is very it's sexually transmitted. So
Yeah. Maybe the right is right when they say that, they're turning your kids gay and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, and the frogs and everything.
And
It's
the yeah, the frogs as well, of course.
yeah, It's our little secret.
Yeah.
So don't worry, everybody.
It's okay. I'm in a happier place now. Thank you for that, Colin.
You're welcome. And Vanessa's ex can suck it.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for the computer parts, but yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on
Come
that
back.
note,
Come back next week for the rest of my social security number, and
that's a
maybe
cliffhanger.
and a wheel spin.
Let's go. We love spinning wheels.
We
All
do.
right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.